All right, so the next person I wanted to talk about is someone by the name of John Haver. He runs a blog called Authority Website Income, and I'm actually a good personal friend of John's, as we originally at one point formed a business together called Lightning Rank about 2, 3 years ago at this point. I actually originally met John through my podcast that I ran a couple years back. I ended up interviewing John and learning a little bit about what he was doing, and that was kind of how we formed our relationship. He ended up coming back to me a little bit later on and asking me about a favor for something, and we kind of got to talking, and that's what led to us building up this little business. We ended up, after about 3 months, he decided to take over the business 100% himself, and basically kind of paid me out to kind of go on my way, which was fine. But we've kept in touch, and it's been really good kind of seeing what he's been able to do for his own progress. He has a lot of really high goals where he's trying to save up money to buy things like a big ski home and things like that. So it's been really awesome following his stuff. I'm going to hit no thanks here. And you can kind of see, he's got a lot of stuff on his website about building authority websites. So it's not necessarily all based around Amazon affiliates, but there's a lot of stuff that he shares on how he systemizes things around building these profitable websites. So he actually still has a full-time job. He has 2 children, so he's extremely busy, and he's got a ton going on. And while doing full-time job and being a father, he's also able to bring in a ton of extra money from these authority websites that he's been building over time. So if you take a look at his blog posts, he's got things like a 12-month Amazon affiliate site case study. He kind of breaks down everything step by step. He doesn't leave anything out. John doesn't really do a whole lot with like online courses. He mostly does quite a bit around just being very transparent about what he's working on and building his audience. He does sell a lot of services based around private blog networks, which involve utilizing websites that you can pretty much use for link building. It's a little bit of a gray hat, kind of black hat strategy, but it definitely still works, and he shares a lot of insight into that and how it's working. So most of where he's making his money is from his authority websites as well as his own private blog networks. And he's also able to sell expired domains that you could use for your own private blog networks, as well as he's got like done for you services where he could just basically set up everything for you and you simply just pay him for it. So he kind of breaks down a lot about him. Let me close that here. I know he also runs a business selling products with Amazon FBA. So if you go into his blog, you can learn a little bit about what he's doing. Some of the biggest things about John that I really like about him are that he's very organized. He really has like a handle on project management, and I would say that's probably the biggest thing that sets him apart from a lot of the other people I'd be talking about. There's a couple other people like Doug Cunnington, I'll be talking about him, but John is definitely one of the most organized people I've ever seen when working with him to build Lightning Rank. We had this massive Google spreadsheet, and it was just really cool, kind of, really having someone that was very similar to me, very like task oriented and really loves to use to-do lists and tracking and things like that, whereas many other people aren't really like that. So that's one of the strong points to John. You can see that if you start reading through some of his content, that's how he structures things. Even in his thumbnail here, you can see how he like is structuring his day and things like that, and how he balances life and his business online. So he also does a lot of regular income reports. They're somewhat transparent, but they don't really like break down everything super specific like you'd see in a lot of other income reports. He kind of breaks down the things he's working on. So he's got his different services like domain finding, Done For You Private Blog Network, the Lightning Rank system. He also is a co-owner of Brand Builders, which I will be talking about in an upcoming video. And then he's got some stuff with Amazon FBA, like different services he's starting to do there, like Amazon FBA hijacking and suppression monitoring. That would help if you're trying to sell like other products with FBA. So definitely take a look at his stuff. He's got a lot of really good free content, especially if you opt into his email list. You see here, he's got like an authority site creation spreadsheet. Take a look through his posts, see where he's at, and see if this is something that you could start following along with John. I know I followed him for many years, and I found that, overall, a lot of the stuff he's sharing is very useful. He breaks down a ton of stuff without really, you even needing to pay for it. So that's probably one of the biggest things I like about John. Although I don't like that he's got 1 million pop-ups on his website. So yeah, again, check out Authority website Income.